What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Tuesday night Q&A Hangout, where it is Texans week, and here we are, December 2nd, the first week of December, wondering if the Chiefs are going to be going to Cancun, or if the playoff hopes live on after Sunday. I do think the Chiefs could potentially lose this game, win out, and make the playoffs if other scenarios play out, other teams lose. You've got the Jags needing to win their division. The Chargers are going to need to lose. There's things that need to happen. But I think your chances are going to be pretty slim, and you really need to win. So this is a win or Cancun game for me. We've been saying that for 3 weeks now. The Broncos game was a must-win game. No, okay, they lost that one. So the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving, well, that's a must-win game because you don't want 6 losses. You don't want to go to 6-6 this early, do you? No. So that was a must-win game. And they won the Colts game in between that. So that was good. But then they lost to the Cowboys. It was a tough game. There was a lot going on there. I haven't watched it since Friday, but I mean, we all know that it was a close one, pretty down to the wire. The Chiefs had their 4th game on the road where they had 10 or more penalties. I understand people are upset about the refs. You find a way to overcome and get the W, or you go home with an L. And the Chiefs, once again, go home with an L, 1-6 in one-score games this season. And they are 6-6. They really need to get this win against the Houston Texans. I just watched the entire game between the Texans and the Colts. That was a Sunday game. I watched it earlier today or later this afternoon. And yeah, it was a weird game in and of itself where the Colts missed an extra point. It looked like the Texans missed an extra point, but they said it was good. And because of that, the Colts at the end of the game were trailing by 4, couldn't kick a field goal to tie it, had to go for it and they couldn't get it done. So it was a weird game, not going to lie to you, but the Texans are a really good team. CJ Stroud is back after missing 3 games with a concussion, and he looked rusty, but you missed 3 games. He's not, I wouldn't put him as like a top 10 quarterback, but he's a pretty serviceable starting quarterback, above average, and they have some weapons. Nico Collins, Woody Marks, their running back. Like, there are several people to look out for on the offensive side of the ball. They got some young guys. You got Jaden Higgins, the veteran tight end Dalton Schultz, but it's really that defense. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr., that D-line is insane. It's the best defense in the NFL. And the problem with this game, we need to see what the injury report looks like and all of that. But the problem with this game is you're not going to have Josh Simmons for sure. Will you have Jawan Taylor? I don't know. If you don't have either of them, you're probably going to go with Jalen Moore at left tackle, Kingsley at left guard, of course, Creed at center. Who at right guard? I don't know. Mike Caliendo? Or if Trey Smith can go, Trey Smith. But that's where I get a little bit nervous, because if Trey Smith can't go, it's Mike Caliendo at guard. Well, then if Jawan Taylor can't go, it's probably Wanye Morris. Don't love it at all. It is the worst time to have 2 starting tackles down. And regardless if you win this game and you keep moving on with your playoff hopes alive, you are down your anchor along the line. I understand Creed, you could consider him an anchor, but the left tackle, the blind side of Patrick Mahomes, was very much under the protection of Josh Simmons. And I know he had a couple penalties in that game. One was not a hold on Simmons. He freaking slapped the dude's arms down and then pile drived him, and he got flagged for it. So you're not going to have him. That's kind of what I'm getting to here. Not going to have Simmons. Jalen Moore is a serviceable left tackle, but if you don't have Jawan Taylor, you don't have Trey Smith. I do have concerns. The Chiefs can win it, but they've been able to win a lot of these games that they didn't. So the one thing that they have going for them for sure is they're playing at home. The Chiefs have won most of their games at home this year. They're tied for the 3rd fewest flags in home games compared to the 3rd most flags on the road. The Chiefs have been a pretty undisciplined football team on the road this year, and there's blame to go around on why the team's 6-6. Special teams has blame. Harrison Butker was missing early on in the season, and you could argue if you go back and watch, well, he was probably a factor on why they lost a couple of these games with his misses, the missed extra points, but he kind of cleaned that up. But then it was special teams penalties in the return game. That got sloppy. You've had some crucial turnovers in the red zone. That pick six against Devin Lloyd, the Jags game, that really hurt. Kelsey with the bobble in the Eagles game at the goal line that turned into an INT. That really hurt. Mahomes threw a pretty costly interception. I'm trying to remember, it was a couple games ago. I don't think it was Colts. I think it might have been the Denver game is what it was. They kind of all blend together, but it's the defense can't get off the field on third downs. They can't get pressure on the quarterback, even when sending blitz help. The blitzes are less effective this year. Then Mahomes has missed a couple of times. The play calls have been meh. You go away from the run game. There's all kinds of stuff going on there. And Andy Reid talked at his presser on Monday and said, yeah, it's just a few plays here or there. And I do agree. But I think it was Matty Lane, if you guys listen to KCSN and his podcast with the Lab, he was like, well, why don't these games just not have to be one-score games? Why can't you just put up more points and not have it be as close? And that's a great question. I don't know. But the Chiefs love close one-score games, and they haven't been able to come out on top in them. So it's unfortunate. You are where you are. And again, there's plenty of blame to go around, offense, defense. I do think the lack of pass rush has really hurt the defense this year. They are not good in a lot of advanced metrics. Yeah, they're the 7th scoring defense, but part of that is helped by the Chiefs offense they're like top 3 in plays per drive, average time of possession, points per drive. They're 10th on third down, but they're 4th on first downs. So they're moving the chains quite a bit. But the Chiefs offense, they're not without blame. They've messed up in the red zone, especially the last few weeks. They have not been able to get 7 instead of 3. Even in the Cowboys game, Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns and no picks, and they flatlined for 2 quarters. So Mahomes was preaching consistency in his post-game presser, saying, yeah, we're playing at a high level, but not as consistently as we would like to. So it's like the offense is playing at a high level, and then special teams is letting them down, or defense is letting them down. But then the offense will stagnate for a couple of drives when the defense actually does make some stops, make some plays, and they're having trouble putting it all together. And you've got to get it figured out. Every week they're saying, yeah, we're just a few plays here or there. Well, every week you're one step closer to the edge. And I don't know why I'm quoting Linkin Park right now, but every week you're one step closer to getting your ticket to Cancun. That's really what it is. And I don't even want to talk too much from here. I just want to see what you guys are thinking and how you guys are feeling, because it's been a while. Like the Cowboys game was a while ago, so we already know about that. I'd be curious to know what your thoughts on some of the other games were, the Chiefs' playoff chances, and all of that. And we've also had some people going really crazy with gifted memberships even before I got in here. FLDB gifted 10 memberships. Pac West hit the 20 bomb. Thank you, guys. Race Fan hit the 10 gifted. So we had back-to-back 10 gifted. I threw 10 gifted as well. You had Brand with the 5, Night Haunter with the gifted, Samuel with the 13 months said, let's freaking go. Jennifer with the 10. It's Mata clock time. Come on now. FLDB with the 38 months. We're going to win out. I feel it in my bones. And yeah, I did do a short today. I was talking about, I like the Chiefs' chances of winning out because you play your 3 tough teams at home, and the Chiefs are much better at home. Home field advantage is real. The 2 teams you play on the road to finish out the season, where the Chiefs are not great. I think they've lost almost all of their road games this year. You play the Titans and the Raiders. If you have to go play a team on the road, I think those are 2 teams to go play on the road. Now, you can't sleepwalk past any team in 2025 in the NFL. You can't. But playing those teams makes me feel a little bit better. I'm trying to remember the stat. Where are we at here? Yeah, the Titans and Raiders. But what's their home record? The Chiefs are 5-1 at Arrowhead, is on the home. So where are they at? 5 of their 6 losses have happened on the road. So yeah, the fact that you play the Titans and the Raiders on the road, that's better. I'm glad, because then you have the Texans, you have the Broncos, and the Chargers all at home. But does it really matter if you don't win on Sunday? Probably not. So you need to get a W. And again, I said at the beginning of this, the Chiefs could still lose and get into the playoffs, but you're going to need some weird things to happen. You just need to win out. It is possible. Who knows? Somebody said in a comment recently to me, because I said, like, you're in borderline, need a lot of good things to go your way. I think team rankings had the Chiefs, if you make the playoffs and win out, they kind of said it felt highly improbable. And somebody said, well, the Chiefs have done it before. I'm like, yeah, but we're talking new year. This is a new year. This is a new team. Yeah, they've done it before, but they're going to need to show us. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I think the Chiefs can win. They've been able to win a lot of these games. They just didn't get it done. The Jags game is haunting them right now because you could be what? Would you be 7? You would be 7-5 right now instead of 6-6 with the Jags win. That's such a much better place to be in. I mean, any of these one-score games, if you could have just flipped it once, you'd be in a much better spot. But yeah, that's kind of where you are, man. It's a weird spot for the Chiefs to be in for sure. Rush with the 5, Rush Chefs with the 5 said, do you think the Chiefs changed their game plan for the 5-game stretch? Also, I think being at home, is going to give us some new life. Yeah, I did mention the home field advantage thing. I do think that's going to be helpful. It's a real thing, and it has drastically helped the Chiefs this season. So I do like that a lot for sure. I don't know how much of the game plan you're going to change. The core of who the Chiefs are on offense under Andy Reid and on defense under Spags, that is who they are. Well, they introduce wrinkles and try to cater to the weaknesses of the opponents and do some smoke and mirrors there and try to exploit them. Yeah, of course. That's what you do every game, right? I don't know that you're going to come out there and after a mini bye on Thanksgiving and just see like a whole new Chiefs team and they just look completely different. The core of who they are is who they are. Now, would I like to see some more under center runs? Of course, Dameon Pierce could be playing this week, but he's on the practice squad. But I don't know how much usage he's actually going to get. I still think Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco would get the brunt of the workload unless Dameon Pierce is returning punts or kickoffs rather would be the more realistic possibility. So I don't know. I don't think you're going to see a lot changing. And even when you watch back the film on some of these games, they had some of the ability to win and multiple games here. And I'm sorry if I sound funny. I am getting a cold, which is unfortunate. Andy Reid's talking to the press about tickling tonsils. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Meanwhile, I have drainage that's tickling my tonsils. So yeah, that's kind of messing with me a little bit. But yeah, even when you watch back the film, I mean, there's people open sometimes. Mahomes has missed a couple of times. Rice had the crucial drop on 3rd and 8. The two things I said they needed to do better is execute in the red zone, and they were 3 for 3 and win the turnover battle, and they did. And they still lost the game. And man, that combo of George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb is troubling. And I'm going to go back and watch through the last 2 times the Chiefs and Texans have played because they played each other twice last year. If you remember, they played each other on Christmas, then they played each other in the playoffs. And I want to remember and look back, how much of a problem did Nico Collins give Trent McDuffie? Because I do feel like Trent McDuffie struggled. If we just set the penalties aside, I understand there was 1 or 2 on Trent that's I don't know about that. There was 1 on Jalen Watson. But if you just put those aside, in general, I feel like they got bullied and they got bodied. Pickens and Lamb had 13 catches for 200 yards and a touchdown combined. So that was a big problem. You're not going to have a wide receiver duo like that you're going to have to face for the rest of the year. That team on offense for the Cowboys, they're a problem. And Dak's playing at a very high level as well. And Schottenheimer was dialing some stuff up. Brian Schottenheimer. So, yeah, you're not going to have to face a wide receiver duo like that, but I do have some concerns and reservations because the pass rush can't get home. It's pretty bad at this point, and it's not really going to change. I do think that's played a role in the Chiefs' inability to get off the field on 3rd downs. I think it was Nick Wright that said today on FS1 maybe. Yeah, I think it was on the Herd. And this is from Starcade Media. Shout out to them. They shared the quote But he said the defense can't get off the field. They're the 4th worst in the league at 3rd and long. They have the 4th fewest turnovers. They have the 6th fewest sacks. That's what has to change. And then he goes on to talk about the O-line issues. It's a multifaceted problem, but I think the biggest problem right now on the team, both sides of the ball, is the pass rush, their lack of an ability to get home. And I do want to note that George Karlaftis has been playing for a couple of games with like a club on his hand. It's not a full club, but he's been playing with a club, and I think playing on the other side that he would normally play, and he hasn't been as effective. So that's going on. Dana and Aminahue have definitely regressed a bit. Chris Jones has taken a small step back. You don't have Turk Wharton anymore along the interior. You were hoping that could be Omar Norman Lott, and he's on IR. Tillery is not doing all that much either. So you just got what you got. It's not great. And then I think Justin Reed is missed as a blitzer too. Your blitzes are not nearly as effective this year. I think the Chiefs, I can't remember the stat exactly, but the Chiefs last year, when blitzing, they were getting home just at a much higher rate, holding quarterbacks to like a much lower QBR, and now it's way, way higher. It's just the opposite effect is happening when they try to blitz. It's not working. But Spags can't sit there and not blitz because they're not getting home. So if he's got to try something, but the pass rush is less effective, the blitz is less effective, and the coverage can only hold for so long. That's part of the issue. We do want to like kind of ream and go in on some of the cornerbacks and coverage, or Chamari Connor, which I get that one, but they can only cover for so long. I mean, how many times do we see these quarterbacks just sit back there and cook a marshmallow, check their notifications on Twitter, and then go through their reads and then make a pass? And even Dak, to his credit, when Spags was blitzing, he was starting to pick them apart. He was just targeting the side that the blitz was coming from and just escaping out of there with ease as far as like the play is concerned. And yeah, it's a multifaceted issue that I went on a rant about, or a ramble about there. But Sokek, with the 158,700 IDR. Hello from Indonesia. What's up, man? Thanks for keeping us sane throughout the tough season. Cole, by the way, this is about $10. Sorry I couldn't give you this much. And oh, dude, no worries. You don't have to do that, but I appreciate you. And I'm trying to remember, you told me how to pronounce your name, but it's been so long. But all the way from Indonesia. Let's go, man. Yeah, and I'm trying to be critical of the team without going overboard, but they are 6-6, so it gets a little bit more drastic every week. Like, I'm not yelling and screaming at the team or melting down about the refs. It's just, you look at the games, you look at how close it is, and it has been close. It's not like the Chiefs or the Raiders or some team that's just getting whooped and mollywopped. Like, every single game, they're getting their tonsils tickled, just getting completely beat down. It's close. It's been close. But it's not good enough. You know what I mean? It hasn't been good enough because you haven't been getting the W, so it's been pretty tough. Night Hunter, thank you so much for the gifted. Brenda with the 5 gifted as well. We do have the members-only stream on Thursday night. I know it's in December. We're doing the November members-only merch giveaway, signed merch giveaway on Thursday night at about 7:30. That could change a little bit, but it's going to be Thursday night. I couldn't make it happen with the short week, the Chiefs playing 2 games and Thanksgiving. So we'll do 2 streams in December. We'll do one on Thursday, December 4th, and then we'll do one near the end of the month, probably between Christmas and New Year's. But I did want to let you guys know that is on Thursday. We'll give away a jersey from NFL Shop. We'll give away some signed Chiefs merch, some HBTC coffee, and all you got to do is be there and be a member. If you're a member, you got gifted one of the 50 memberships that just got thrown out there earlier. You just show up and you comment a hashtag comment on one of my videos, and you get entered into a raffle. You get entered into a drawing for a chance to win. So thank you, Night Hunter. Thank you, Brenda, for the 5 gifted. K Nell with the 5 bomb. All the plays we want to get to, we took for granted when the line was healthy. I don't know how much Andy can dial up with Mahomes having less time with backup 60%. Yeah, and that's a great point of how does the offense game plan against the Texans. Now, I will say the Chiefs beat the Texans twice last year, and didn't they have Joe Tooney at left tackle? So it is possible that you can beat the Texans with a not fully functional O-line, but I'm not saying that in like a disrespectful way because they are a really good defense, probably the best defense in football. That D-line is insane. But they've done it before. Can they do it again is the question. Jalen Moore is a more serviceable left tackle than Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney is an elite guard. I think Jalen Moore can give you a little bit more at left tackle than Joe Thuney did. Kingsley's going to give you more at left guard than Mike Caliendo did last year. The question for me is the right side of the line. If Trey Smith can't go, it's Caliendo. If Jawan Taylor can't go, I guess it's Wanye. I don't know if it's going to be Esa Pole. You're kind of digging into your bag of tackles. You're digging down there. You're getting down to the bottom. Super rare to hear McDuffie called out like that. Far more games you never hear his name in a good way, but even the best get got from time to time, said Brand with the 5. Yeah, and some of it, man, it's just that's a really good wide receiver duo. George Pickens is playing like a top 3 receiver in the NFL, and I don't know where you would put Lamb right now. He's got to be top 10 or close to top 10 in the league. Not from like a statistical standpoint. So if you go and look up his stats, he's not going to be up there because he missed a few games, maybe 3 or 4 with an ankle injury. And now they have Pickens kind of feasting. So I don't know, but that's a very problematic wide receiver duo. And Dak's playing at a very high level as well. Yo, Payne Black in the house with the 5. He said, hello from a Broncos fan. What's up, dude? But seriously, much love, brother. Your even-keeled takes are really refreshing to see. Perna brought me here, and I'm staying. Well, dude, I appreciate it, man. It's, what are you going to do? I've been a Chiefs fan for a long time, and we've seen them at the peak of the summit all these years, recent years in particular. They're having a bit of a down year. It's frustrating. Don't love to see the Broncos at 11-2 or whatever they are now, but what am I going to do? Am I going to whine about it? Am I going to cry about it? No, dude. The Broncos are finding a way to get these wins in these close one-score games like the Chiefs did last year, and they've done many times before. And I do find it funny. When I go to these Broncos posts now on social media, wherever, and all these people are crying about the refs. Like, it is so funny to me because in these one-score games, all the calls get highlighted or elevated, like drastically in the eyes of fans. Not everybody. But it's just like, yeah, in these close one-score games, when the team keeps winning close, you're going to point to the refs. But that's what they did to the Chiefs. So I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, been there. Know that feeling. Definitely know that feeling. So it's a weird spot right now. I do think the Chiefs probably finish second in the West. The Chargers' schedule is really hard. Like, look at their last 5 games. We could pull it up. Their schedule is very difficult. They're down a couple linemen themselves. Justin Herbert's banged up. He just had a surgical procedure done on his non-throwing hand. But yeah, man, I'm just going to say GG's. Like I said it coming into the season with the AFC West in general. I just said they're getting better. It's not 2 years ago with Russell Let's Ride Wilson running out there and the West is so bad that the Chargers had Staley, the Broncos were doing whatever the heck they were doing with Russ, and the Raiders they're still doing the same exact thing over there. But I knew that the West was getting better. And it happened last year. And I said, okay, it's going to be even better this year. It's going to be more competitive. So you can't really troll around about the West because they're one of the best divisions in all of football. I don't know if they're better than, what's the NFC? Is it the NFC West? What division has... Yeah, the Rams are 9-3, the Seahawks are 9-3, the 49ers are 9-4. That might be the most competitive division in football, but the AFC West is up there as far as just good teams. The Patriots and Bills, that's a good one in the AFC East. Where else am I looking here? Let me go. Is there one other NFC conference? I mean, the NFC East is an interesting one, and I know you can't see what I'm talking about. But like the Eagles are kind of free falling a little bit. The Cowboys are on the climb. The Bears, like the North is a good one, at least with the Bears, the Packers, the Lions. It's weird. The Lions and the Chiefs, guys, they were Super Bowl favorites heading into the season. Like I think from a betting odds standpoint. And the Lions and the Chiefs are on the outside looking in the playoff picture right now, which is pretty crazy. all that to say, Pain Black, thanks so much for the 5-bomb. Glad you're here. Perna's awesome, dude. He's been awesome to me from the beginning, so I'm very grateful for Perna, even though his team's doing really well, and I'm not happy about that part. But KC with the 5, missed the beginning. Is there any news on the 3 linemen? Their health and availability is the biggest piece to making a run right now. Let's freaking go. KC, thank you for the 5. No updates. We will hear from, I think, Andy Reid, Mahomes, and maybe one other person tomorrow. You should also have the first injury report. So they play on Sunday. It's a regular week. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, injury reports. The coordinators will speak on Thursday. The final presser from Andy Reid and a couple players will be on Friday. And they play Sunday Night Football at Arrowhead. So we don't have any updates right now. Andy Reid didn't really give any on Monday. He always does this. He comes into the meeting. It's a Zoom call on Mondays right now for the most part. And he just says, hey, the guys are just coming in. Haven't had a chance to talk with Rick Burkholder or any of the guys, so I don't have any injury updates for you. He says that every single week. And yeah, so we have nothing. All that to say. Terry, thank you so much for the 99 cents. Heather with the 5-bomb. Appreciate it. Hey, Cole, check rumor mill. Heard Honey Badger was talking to Veach and Reed about coming back. Yeah, so he spoke with Kay Adams, I believe, on her podcast, and she said, would you be interested in coming back? He didn't say no. I think he was open to the idea, but here's the thing about that. If the Chiefs lose against Houston, it's over. What are you bringing Honey Badger back for? Now, if you keep winning, you're still in it. You have Chris Roland Wallace banged up with the back. You've got Brian Cook banged up with the ankle. So, I could get there if he's in football shape, but he retired a Saint and you have to trade for him. So you would have to give up draft capital to even get Tyron Matthew back into a Chiefs jersey. I just don't think it's likely at all. But I do love Tyron. I think he's a great dude. I think he retires a Chief, but I don't really know what his plans are there. But yeah, I did see that, and I saw people talking about it. Somebody texted me yesterday, and they're like, dude, could you make it happen? Not me, but just could the Chiefs make it happen? And I was like, I just don't think so, because you got to trade for him. Pain Black in the house. Dude, Pain Black and James. Is James in here? We've got a resident Broncos fan, James. He's in every stream hanging out. Toma with the 2. Road to victory is quick. Quick passes to Rice and Worthy. Yeah, that's going to be a key with that D-line, and that's what they had to do last year when you had Joe Tooney at left tackle. Quick passes and just find a way to matriculate the ball down the field and get some points up on the board. CJ Stroud missed 3 games with a concussion. He came back. Looked a little shaky, but he's still a good quarterback and can make you pay. We'll see. It's going to be a tough game for sure. Darrell with the 2. Late to the party. What's up, Darrell? Good to see you. Jennifer with the 10-bomb. Let's ride in high knees on the plane, man. Good old Russell Wilson days. Cole, can we get your first, second, and third round mock draft? Dude, I don't even look at college ball. Don't follow any of it until after the NFL season, so I couldn't give you nothing. I'm sorry. Couldn't give you nothing. He played a year down in New Orleans after. Yeah, he did play with the Saints for, I think, a couple years. He just unexpectedly retired. He unexpectedly retired this offseason. He played for the Saints, I think, for 2 or 3 years. Yeah, he played 2022, 2023, 2024 because they let Tyron walk in free agency, the Chiefs did, and signed Justin Reid to the 3-year deal. It's crazy because then they let Justin Reid walk in free agency, and the Saints signed Justin Reid to a 3-year deal. Yep, Tyreek's on IR for the year. Yep. What is the hardest opponent, in your opinion, in the last 5 games? So you've got the Texans, you've got the Broncos, you've got the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Titans. It's not the Titans, it's not the Raiders, it's probably not the Chargers. It's going to be a toss-up between the Broncos and the Texans. I want to say the Texans, but I'm not. It's not like at a disrespect to the Broncos. I think the Chiefs played the Broncos really close, and they won by a game-winning field goal at the end of the game. Last year, same thing, but the Chiefs ended up blocking it. I think you can beat the Broncos. It's not easy, right? At all. The Chargers the Texans are a problem too because they're a really good defense. They're a defense-first team, and so are the Broncos. So I don't know. You could probably flip a coin, but it's going to be between the Texans and the Broncos for me as the 2 toughest opponents. They're both well coached. Both defenses are really good, The Broncos do have PS2 back as well, so that's worth noting. The Texans are down a couple guys in their secondary, but I don't know. They're both going to be tough games. We'll put it that way. If you beat the Texans, you have the Chargers next. You just got to worry 1 week at a time. You get to the Broncos, that's Christmas. So that'll be a big game too. Somebody said Titans. You think we could get Snead back? Nah. Snead's done, man. He's been living on IR the last 2 years. I think a lot of people in the comments are saying Broncos, and there is an element to that. It's just they're an AFC West opponent. Those games always get weird. They're a good team. Yeah, there's no way around it. We're beating the Chargers, but not the Broncos, who are running for the 1 seed. Yeah, they're kind of trading back and forth right now with the Patriots for the 1 seed. I do think Houston's defense might be a little bit more complete than the Broncos, but not by much. I mean, you're talking about both of these defenses being top 3, but that defense for the Texans, Will Anderson Jr., Danielle Hunter, and then their secondary, like Stingley, Bullock, Kamari Lassiter, Petrie, like all those guys are playing at a high level. But if you go over to the Broncos depth chart and look at their roster with PS2 and their speed rushers off the edge too, their linebacker, yeah, there's a lot of players on Denver as well, man. The score has played a lot of games in the past 7 years. Yeah, a lot of deep playoff runs. You do have some wear and tear and some mileage for sure. Do you think that if we somehow beat Houston and Chargers in a decent fashion that you'll become more confident in the rest of the year? Yeah, sure. The Chiefs would be 8-6, but you still kind of have to win out. So if you beat the Texans and the Chargers, things are definitely looking good, but I'll still be sweating for the Broncos game. There's no way around that one. You've got the Texans on the 7th, so this Sunday, Chargers on the 14th. You have the Titans. I do think you can beat the Titans, so you would be 9-6 if you could get there, right? And then you have the Broncos. Well, something about the Broncos is they're going to be wanting to knock the Chiefs out of the playoffs before they can even get there. So if the Chiefs are 9-6, they're going to really love the idea of taking it to the Chiefs at Arrowhead and pretty much ending their playoff hopes. I think you could get away with one loss in this span and still make it, but you have to have a lot go your way, so I don't love it. If you can get past the Broncos, you probably beat the Raiders week 18. It is not going to be easy. It all starts with a win on Sunday. We play bad away, though. Well, we play much better at Arrowhead. I talked about that earlier. And the 2 away games are the Raiders and Titans, so I do feel better about that. What is the word with Royals? Not good enough, said Flanders. Thanks so much for the 2. No, I think you're redshirting this year because the wide receiver room, it's a very deep room, and there's really no injuries. Nobody's been injured. Rice served the 6-game suspension, and I thought Royals might see a little bit of playing time there, but Juju's looked even better than anticipated. And then Royals got hurt too. He got hurt I think some at training camp, some at preseason, that first preseason game, and missed a couple weeks of the regular season. And he's a rookie. So no, I'm not going to write Jalen Royals off, but I don't know that you're going to see much from him until next year. And I don't even know what to expect then. At Arrowhead, said Toma, Chiefs better not lose to Broncos. Hope not, man. Hope not. Just got done watching Super Bowl 58 full broadcast just because. Nice. I always get confused because there's one staff member in the Chiefs sideline that looks like you. Love your content. Let's go. Yeah, that's Andy Reid's son, strength and conditioning coach. Colts are falling a little bit. Yeah, for sure. The Colts have lost 3 of their last 4, I believe. Yeah, so you kind of want the Jags to win their division at this point. Hopefully they can, because the Chiefs have the tiebreaker over the Colts rather. And then if you beat the Texans, you have a tiebreaker over them as well. That's why you really want to beat the Texans this week. It would be very helpful. Does the Chargers losing help the Chiefs since they have a better conference record? Yeah, the Chargers losing any and every game right now definitely helps. And then if the Chiefs beat the Chargers, that's only going to help even more. The Chargers, man, their schedule is crazy. I'm going to pull it up because it's kind of wild. What they have, look at look at who they have left. They have the Eagles on Monday Night Football, okay? They then have the Chiefs. They have the Cowboys, the Texans, and the Broncos. These last 5 games for the Chargers that's pretty insane. And they're what, 8-4? They're 8-4. They lost to the Jags on the 16th, 35-6, by the way. And then they beat the Raiders. So who cares? Raiders is like a nice little warm-up bye week game against the local high school team. Just this season, it's been exceptionally bad for the Raiders. Night Hunter said, I told you when teams learn to stop their run game, Danny Dimes would do what he does, and that is lose games. Yeah, and I think that's what the Chiefs went into game plan-wise. They're like, hey, we're going to stop Jonathan Taylor and make Danny Dimes beat us, and he couldn't. The problem is with the Cowboys, Dak is way better than Daniel Jones. He's playing at a very high level, so that was a pretty problematic matchup for the Chiefs, especially on defense. I thought if the Chiefs won the turnover battle and were much better in the red zone, they would win. And when you said before the game or after the game, if I didn't watch it, you blindfolded me and you said, hey, Patrick Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and the Chiefs won the turnover battle. Who won that game? I would have put a lot of money down that the Chiefs won, but they lost by 3. So it's a tough one. Can we talk about converting on third downs for the Chiefs? Sure. Converting on third downs? The Chiefs are still on offense. They're the third best on third downs, which that is subpar, I think, to the standard of like Patrick Mahomes and that offense over the years. But they're also the best offense on fourth downs. So they're still a pretty good, efficient, effective offense. But yeah, you could definitely get... There's been some of these games where they're in all these like third and longs. And it's the penalties. It's holding on a tackle, illegal formation. It was OPI on Worthy was one offensive example that negated a first down to Hollywood Brown. Whether you agreed with the call or not, I'm just saying some of the stuff that has happened, and it's getting the Chiefs into these like third and longs that they're just having trouble overcoming. And then there was a couple times, even on like fourth down in Dallas territory, Andy Reid decided to punt. So yeah, you've got to be a little bit more efficient on third downs, getting into that 3rd and 5, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, not 3rd and 16. The Chiefs' average 3rd and long against the Cowboys was like 3rd and a lot. 3rd and 12, 3rd and 13. It's not sustainable at all. The Cowboys on third downs were 3rd and 8. A 3rd and long was an average of 3rd and 8, and they were averaging like 16.8 yards per play on these 3rd and longs. Absolutely insane. Then for the defense, they've got to be better on third downs. They're like 26th stopping teams on third downs. It's not good. Not good at all. 3rd in Cancun, exactly. Exactly. 3rd in Austin. Yep. What's up, Myraid? Or Myriad? I think it's Myraid. Cole, I've been watching more football recently. Are the Lions in a rough position just like the Chiefs? That's a team I just haven't been watching a lot of, but I know that they are struggling. I think they're once again banged up, and they've lost what? They've lost 3 of their last 5 and are 3rd place in their division. They're on the outside looking in like the Chiefs. They just lost a very close one to the Packers on Thanksgiving right before the Chiefs played. So I haven't followed the team enough to know all the injuries and everything going on. But I remember there was a game recently where Jared Goff had like a 30% completion percentage. It was just something insane. He was 14 for 37 in the game against the Eagles, and they lost 9-16. So yeah, that's what's so weird about the NFL this year. It's just been very unpredictable. Like when you look at like the standings and where everybody's at, the Bills aren't winning their division right now. The Ravens are technically, but they started 1-5. They don't look unstoppable by any means. It used to be in the AFC, you talked Chiefs, you talked Ravens, you talked Bills. Well, that's not who you're talking about right now. You're talking Patriots, you're talking Broncos. I mean, the Colts were hot for a little while, but there's some divisions still up in the air. Yeah, it's a very weird year, and that's the same for the NFC. Like the Packers, you thought were going to be more of a powerhouse. They're not playing well. I thought the 49ers were cooked at the beginning of the year. And even just early in the season, you had like Bosa tear his ACL, Fred Warner out for the season, Purdy's barely played, Kittle was on IR, Ayuk's still not back. They traded Debo, Pearsall was injured. Like they had so many injuries, and the 49ers are 9-4. I mean, they're still finding ways to win, and yeah, the NFL season's been a crazy one, man. It's been a crazy one. The Panthers have been winning lately. I think they're like 7-6. They upset the Rams. Crazy. You're a Bears and Chiefs fan? Nice, dude. Bears and Chiefs. Hey, Cole, are you the most watched YouTuber of 2025? No. Me? No. Not even close. Mr. Beast. If you're saying like NFL, nah, I don't know where I would rank, but Grossi's going to be the Grossi, Perna, probably even Urinating Tree. There's others too. Like they're going to be in the most watched YouTube space. Love the videos. Oh, Muhammad, thank you, man. Carolina has a more favorable schedule. Yeah, sure. And a lot of these teams that didn't play well last year, they've got an easier schedule, right? If you finish third in your division, you get the third place schedule. That's like the Patriots. A lot of people are kind of knocking the Patriots, who are 11-2, by the way, or 12-2, whatever they are. They just keep winning. Drake May is MVP favorite right now. They're like, well, the Patriots finished fourth in their division, so they've had a really easy schedule. And if you look at their schedule, there's some pretty bad teams they've played, but it's not like their fault that they're playing who they play. I think they're a really good team. I need to see them when they get to the playoffs. Like, we'll see what happens, because I just don't know. I think Drake May is a really good quarterback, has a really good year two leap. I like Mike Vrabel. I knew he was going to bring stability to that organization. But yeah, we don't know. We'll see. We'll see who gets into the dance, and we'll see how it all shakes out. It's not basketball. You're not doing 3 of 5. You're not doing 5 of 7. It is single round elimination, and anybody can get got. Like if the Rams and Panthers were just playing a playoff game, the Rams lose the turnover battle 3-0 and Bryce Young beats them, you can get got. Anybody can get got. Meg with the 10 bomb. Let's go. Cole, please remind chat to vote for the Chiefs in the Pro Bowl. Sadly, it looks like our guys will be able to play. So let's flood the field with Chiefs. Yeah. Hopefully they make it to the playoffs and you make it back to the big game, but it is very hard to get back there every single year. 5 Super Bowls in 6 years is insane. But yeah, definitely vote. I think they already have Pro Bowl votes started and people are retweeting and all kinds of stuff. I thought it was funny the Chiefs or somebody snuck in a couple funny players in their Pro Bowl voting. And it not funny as like being disrespectful, but they snuck in Jalen Royals into a Pro Bowl vote. I was like, that guy hasn't even played. So I thought that was funny. Do you think Cincinnati Bengals, I was trying to figure out what this was saying. Okay, Mexi said, with the 2, do you think the Cincinnati Bengals or Carolina Panthers can win their division? Sure. I don't think the Bengals can, to be honest with you. And I want to go look at the division standings, because I think the Panthers have a better chance, but the AFC North is in a really weird place right now. And I'll show you what I'm seeing, because the Ravens are 6-6. The Steelers are 6-6, but the Steelers have lost 5 of their last 7 games, guys. The Steelers are not going to make the playoffs. The Ravens have won 5 of their last 6. They just lost to the Bengals, who got Joe Burrow back. The defense isn't great. Unless they just win out and then the Ravens lose like 3 more. It is possible. But the Bengals have no margin for error. And have they played the Ravens yet? They haven't. So the Bengals could play the... Where are we at here? Yeah, they played the Ravens November 27th and beat them. They've got the Bills. They've got the Ravens again, obviously. Shoot, you beat the Ravens again and win out, maybe. That's a division to watch. And then you said Panthers? Where are we at here? Yeah, I think the Panthers still play the Bucs twice. So it's possible. The Panthers play the Bucs on December 21st and then again on January 4th. They play them twice in 3 games. So yeah, the Panthers can definitely still win their division too. That is a division. The NFC South between those two teams will be interesting to watch for sure. And then the NFC West is crazy. Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. I think the Rams win it, but you never know. Darnold's playing well. Darnold's playing well over there with the Seahawks, and Purdy and the 49ers are always going to make it competitive. Largely, I think, just because of their coaching staff is very good. Saleh with the DC, Shanahan over there running the offense. So, heck yeah. It's a very interesting NFL season, to say the least. Again, I apologize if my voice sounds funny. I'm getting the early stages of a cold, essentially, is what's going on here. Have I ever met Mahomes before? I did. I met him at his gala like 2 years ago, maybe. I didn't know I was going to get to meet him, but that was cool. Got to meet him. Talk for briefly. That was it. Flip with the 5. Making it to the postseason this year might be the hardest season in the Mahomes era, but I'll tell you what, if the Chiefs slip in the playoffs, into the playoffs, look out. Yeah, you got to get there. But dude, start by winning this week. 1 week at a time, 1-0. That's what you want to go to. That's what you want to get to. Sedgwick, what? One injury could change everything for any of these teams? Sure. I think that is the way football goes. I don't wish injuries upon anyone, and I know you don't either. That's not what you're saying. But yeah, you're always a fluke accident away from a team losing a very key player. To be honest, the Chiefs lost a very key player. They lost arguably one of their most offensive players in Josh Simmons. Now, he was away from the team for a month, and they won 3 out of those 4 games, so you can still make it happen. But if you're also down Jawan Taylor and Trey Smith, it gets a little more thin. But yeah, that's how football goes, and it's always, every team says it, next man up. Can you find a way to get out there and get a win? That's what you got to try to do. What are your thoughts on Jones and Kelsey retirement? Jones is still under contract for 1 more year, I think, before you can get out of it. I'm pretty sure. Kelsey is on the last year of his deal, so yeah, we'll see. I don't know what to think about it. If you don't have Kelsey next year, and I do think he's playing well enough to come back. So if he wants to come back and play another year, he looks fine. So it would have to be them working it out from a contractual monetary standpoint. But I think Kelsey could return if he wants to. He doesn't need to. He's got nothing left to prove. He's got life after football with all kinds of opportunities. His podcast, broadcasting, we know who he's engaged to. Like, there's just so many things he could be doing after football. But Kelsey has always said he wants to ride until the wheels fall off, and he knows once he's done playing, there's no going back. So we'll see. Chris Jones, you've got a couple years left, so he's not going anywhere right now. Les One with the 5. Thank you. How do you feel the Chiefs mirror stat with the Panthers this year? Good luck pronouncing the soccer player's name. Ousmane Dembele. How close was I? Let me know. Yeah, I don't know what exactly you mean the Chiefs mirroring stat-wise with the Panthers. I know that the Panthers they have 1 more win than them, but they've had that funny little Tiger Woods gif they've been sharing every week with the Chiefs and the Panthers records. I was trying to see if I could find it real quick. Yeah, this one. This one. They've been sharing it all season long. And yeah, now the Panthers are 7-6 and the Chiefs are 6-6, which is pretty funny. Pretty funny. Why don't I have a Mahomes jersey in the background? I have my Mahomes jersey over here, and it's in a case. All these are unprotected and exposed to the elements, so I just felt like protecting Mahomes' jersey. It's in red, but I should just probably buy a white one and just kind of swapping it out. If Pacheco's not a Chief anymore next year, we'll see. Maybe I'll just throw the Mahomes one there. I trolled on your Cole and said that the season is drunk. Trolled on what? Yeah, this is funny, man. I laugh every time I see it. They've been sharing it every single week. Pretty good. The only thing we need to worry about when we play the Titans is the end zone boys. Be careful. What's up, Jacob? How are you doing, man? The Chiefs have have beaten the Ravens and the Colts this season, so both of the teams are going to be replaced. They're going to be replaced are the Colts and Ravens. What do you mean? We need young, good, effective players, said Chiefs fan. Just like in the future, kind of moving on? Sure. Always. Get younger, get faster, more athletic, more explosive. Yes, sir. It won't be nice to see Justin Reed. Well, he's a Saint, so you won't see him. You won't see him. What else do we got going on here? If you have any questions, put question marks in it. Okay, do you think, does there need to be an assistant coaching change next year? For sure. If it was up to me, I would go get a wide receiver coach, or Pinkston, the running backs coach, is a former NFL wide receiver. Put him with the wide receivers. Bring in somebody with real, like Connor Embry has no wide receiver coaching experience outside of like high school. Get a real wide receiver coach. That's on the offensive side of the ball. I would love a change at OC. Will that happen? I don't know, but I would love somebody outside of Andy Reid's tree, or like Mike Kafka with the Giants right now. He's the interim head coach, their OC for a couple of years. Like, bring him back or something. So yeah, definitely on the offense. On defense, I don't really know. I've seen some people saying fire Spags. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know that you're going to have any of the big guys fired. The only thing you could see some turnover on is if like Spags or Nagy get offered head coaching jobs, which would mix some stuff up. But the short answer to that is, yeah, I do want to see some changes. I'm not in the drastic camp of like Reed needs to go, Spags needs to go, Veach needs to go. I'm not there. But I would like to see a change at the coordinator position with some actual either just influence with Reed or the ability to infuse new ideas would be awesome. Wouldn't mind seeing Nagy go, yeah, just mix it up, man. I do think they need to adapt their play style a little bit. It's a bit stale and dated at times, more scheme reliant than player reliant, and you need another wide receiver outside of Rice. And maybe Royals will develop. We'll see. Worthy, he's been playing through injuries, so I think people are pretty down on him right now. But again, he's been playing through the ankle. He's been playing through the shoulder. He clearly doesn't look right because he's not. I'm not super down on him, but the injuries have affected him. Hollywood's on a 1 year. Juju's on a 1 year. You need to draft another one and then get a running back, man. Please get some help over there. Yeah, so definitely some changes need to happen, but what's going to happen? I don't know. And we'll have the all offseason to talk about it. If the Chiefs are going to take the spot of the Colts, if the Colts lose another game, well, if the Colts lose another game, they would be like 8-5, and the Chiefs would be 7-6, so not yet. Because I think the Chiefs they're 8-4 or something like that right now. I see what you're asking. The Colts are 8-4, they would go to 8-5, and the Chiefs would be 7-6. So not yet. Not yet. Are you cold? Your hands are red? That's just how they are. If they're not as red as they look down here, it's kind of how my cameras read, but I am a pale Irishman, so my hands and my face get red. Are we live? Oh yeah, we live. We live right now. I don't even put my Christmas tree up yet. Come on now. Score predictions. Ooh, for Chiefs and Texans. It feels early for that because I'm still in my prep, but it's probably going to be a close game. Might be a little bit lower scoring than you think because the Chiefs offense might not be as high powered with multiple linemen out and you're going up against a really powerful defense. But yeah, the Texans defense, I kind of jokingly said Stroud's not what did I say? Stroud's not great, but the Chiefs defense might make him look elite. And when I say he's not great, it's not a diss at Stroud. I think he's above average starting quarterback. I don't know if you're going to put him in the top 10 or anything, but the Chiefs have let Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, and other quarterbacks choose in some of these games, like have their way. And if the D-line can't get there and you exploit the weaknesses of the Chiefs defense in the middle of the field, getting linebackers in coverage. Like I saw Charles Omenihu in coverage on one play on CeeDee Lamb. You blitz Trent McDuffie, he doesn't get home. It leaves Chamari Connor one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb. If you leave Chamari Connor one-on-one with Nico Collins, like there are going to be plays available for the Texans offense to kind of do their thing. And I just hope that doesn't happen. But the defense has been a stressful bunch this year, to say the least. Casey Cam, everybody's saying Casey Cam. She is she's just down here sleeping right now. I'll grab her up before we end the stream and let you guys see her. Say hi. Yeah, my hands do look really red on camera, don't they? Or off camera. But if I pull them up, they're not really that red. It's the way my camera reads the shadows. It's very weird. I don't know why that is. Will they sign Dameon Pierce to the actual roster? Maybe, but you don't need to right now. You can elevate him 3 times before you have to do that. So we'll see. I'm not sure. You think we should trade Pacheco next year? Well, he'll be a free agent, free to sign with any other team. Yeah. Meech with the 5. What's up, dude? You're hands down my favorite Chiefs coverage guy. You are the Kratos of Chiefs coverage. Dude, thank you so much for the kind words, man. Let's go. And there's a lot of good content out there. I mean, I watch KCSN, a couple there. I watch the Lab Guys every now and again. Listen to Only Weird Games with Seth and Josh Briscoe and Nate Taylor. I listen to Matt Derrick sometimes on his Tuesdays, but I go live on the same night, so I'm not always able to. I know All Chiefed Up's doing their own thing over there. You've got Chiefs Concerns. I mean, I'm probably missing some channels off the top of my head right now. But yeah, there's a lot of guys in the space that are doing good content, and it's much respect to them. I think I'm friendly with everybody in the space. I don't have any ill will towards anybody. I want to see everybody succeed as much as they can. But the fact that some of you say, hey, you're the go-to channel, like I appreciate it. There's plenty to get. Oh, RGR. I didn't say them, but RGR is one for sure. That just slipped my mind. Dan and Ryan doing their thing over there. But yeah, there's plenty of channels, but heck yeah, I do try to make this like a one-stop shop. Like you can definitely go to all the channels, but if you just had to go to one, I won't be able to give you the film analysis like RGR and some of these other guys, but I'll try to give you all that you need to know is in as friendly football 101 manner as humanly possible, and quick and to the point is also what I try to do. Angel with the 2-bomb. We caught you red-handed, dude. Every time red-handed. Yeah, I don't know if it's like, if there's other pale people in chat like me that deal with like the red skin. I think it's a common thing for the Irish folk. I could be wrong, but my hands definitely aren't as red. Anyway, I'll move on from it. Seth's analysis. Yeah, Seth is on the podcast on Thursday. We'll be doing a video together. So I've been bringing him on every couple of weeks, so that's been fun. Yep. Yeah, he's really good, man. Should the Chiefs sign Darius Slay? Well, he's going to hit the waiver wire, and he could get claimed off waivers just like Adam Thielen. After the trade deadline, even if you're a vested vet, you have to clear waivers and you could get claimed. I guess the Chiefs could claim Darius Slay if they want. You just got to win on Sunday, or a lot of these moves aren't even going to matter. So win on Sunday and then handle it. But sure, if the Chiefs feel like they need cornerback help, I just don't think they do. They're not even playing Noel Williams. So I think Noel Williams needs some snaps. People love to hear themselves talk. I don't know what that means. I mean, a lot of the Chiefs channels, or just any football channel, they're basically a lot of times like an hour-long podcast. I'm just trying to give you guys as much as I can and closer to like 12 to 15 minutes. I think that's much more friendly to the time, to y'all's time. There's a lot of people competing for your time, so if I can make that a little bit quicker, I will. Oh, I see that. Cole, that's why you're the best. You keep it simple and entertaining. Not trying to do a bunch of word salad. Football's complex. You can get really into the weeds, and I'm learning every day. I'm like, oh, wow, what's that? What's this? Whoa. But I get sometimes too into the weeds, and I'm like, nah, we don't need to go. We don't need to communicate all that. Just get the high-level stuff, sometimes into the specifics, and call it a day. Yep, condensed updates. And even my podcast interviews, I try to keep them to 30 minutes and no longer. If I could get them to 20, I will. Hey, I told my boss I'm not yelling, I'm part Irish. Exactly. When we got mad, our necks tell on us, Yeah, my face turns red too, just like instantly flush if I get mad. Cole, not to be a ref hater, but did you see the pass interference called on the Colts? I think yellow flags should be challengeable. I watched the Colts and Texans game just a couple hours ago. I know there was one call in particular that it was a pass interference call that probably shouldn't have been called, and the booth is up there disagreeing with it. Dude, it's every game, man. Every game, it's a call here or a call there that either should have been called or shouldn't have been called. The refs are trying their best in real time, and they are going to fall short. I mean, officiating's not great in any game. And then, like, in that game, the Houston Texans, did you guys see that? I think they missed their extra point, and the ref said it was good. That was, like, the weirdest one to me. I was like, I think he missed. You guys said it was good. That one, the broadcast was like, yeah, I think. Let me see if I can find it. I think they missed. Yeah, look at this. What happens if I do this? Okay, that didn't look good. But you can see the football. It might have. They were saying on the broadcast that the football, like the majority of the football, needs to cross the inside edge of the crossbar, and it looks like it's on the outside edge. But the ref said it was good. That's a weird, like, I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. So that was the weirdest one to me in that game. It doesn't look good. The Texans ended up winning that game by 4 because the Colts, instead of being down 3 after the missed extra point, and I don't even think that was what the score was, but it just, the way it shook out, instead of it at the end being a 3-point game, it was a 4-point game. It was a crazy one. Official broadcast spends a lot of time complaining about calls, hate it, always have Cole on blast and TV on mute in games. Hey, appreciate it. If I could find a way to be able to play the sound of the game, but mute the broadcaster's voice so I could talk and you could still hear the sound, that would be awesome. I don't know if that would ever be a possibility, but I would love that. So, because I know that's what people are missing out on when they mute the game to listen to me, but yeah. Trying our best out here. Appreciate you guys. I really miss Justin Reed. Me too, man. I like listening to Gruden break down games. All of his videos exceed an hour. Yeah, he does really good game preview breakdowns for sure. There's a lot of good channels out there, man. I listen to the Athletic Football Show. They have a podcast. There's what else do I listen to? Sometimes I'll listen to PFF's podcast, or I can't remember the other guys' names either, but there's a few different podcasts I'll listen to for like game previews and stuff. Yeah. You ever run into fans in public? Yeah, I don't even know I don't know if they're fans. It's just supporters or people that watch the content. They're like, hey, man, how about those Chiefs? They're like, let's go, dude. Love the vids. That's about the extent of it, you know? Now, maybe kids, if they recognize me, it's a little bit more like, whoa, dude, it's the YouTuber. Because, you know, kids with the mindset of somebody doing YouTube, like that's a bigger thing to them. But most people are just like, yo, what's up, dude? Love your vids. And we kind of move on from there. But I'm always appreciative if somebody wants to say what's up in public, and I'm always honored. Like, I just walk around with the fam and enjoy the day, enjoy the weekends. But yeah, if somebody says what's up, I'm always down to say hey. We went to Jack Stack over the weekend, guys. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. Cole, why can't you stream the game and let us watch it? Yeah, it's just not legal. I would get my channel blocked. It would get sent to the shadow realm. Kelsey said my boyfriend calls you football man. Hey, it's the football man. Yeah, and some people don't know my name in public. They're just like, hey, how about this Chiefs guy? I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did have a funny interaction the other day. A guy was bringing me garage beer through DoorDash, and he brought the beer up and he looked at me and he's like, do you have a YouTube channel? And he was like, dude, he was really kind, but he asked me for YouTube advice. So I talked with him for 5 minutes and tried to give him some YouTube advice. Yeah, the red beard guy. Exactly. Refs have been calling bad kicks good all season. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Missing the playoffs with Mahomes would be grounds for drastic changes, said Tay Day. It is a very weird place to be in. I can't even lie to you. My wife calls you the beard man. Love it. It's not an ideal place to be in. Not when you have a healthy Mahomes and he's playing at a high level. Your thoughts on Matthew saying he'd come out of retirement to help the defense on K's show? Yeah, the Chiefs would have to trade for him because he's still under contract. He was under contract with the Saints when he retired. So I don't think it happens. What's up, football bub? What's up? Mahomes cardboard cutout in the back. We should grab one, throw it in the back. That's a good idea. It was a good run, folks. Yeah, it's not over. Even if the Chiefs either don't find a way to get to the playoffs this year or don't make a deep playoff run if they are able to sneak in, they still have the core pieces, man. And you got to retool, and I think they'll be back and they'll be competitive. But yeah, the West isn't any easier. You have to go out and execute at a higher level than they have been this year, and that's that's been the story of it all. Yeah. Jai said, hey, they're running it over. Brady didn't win every year. Now, yeah, I agree with you. I don't really have much, because I'm just so tired of the arguments of comparing every single season to Brady and Mahomes. Nobody's had a better start to their NFL career than Patrick Mahomes, and it's not really up for debate. But from here, we'll just see how it goes. From Mexi earlier, I don't want to be pessimistic, but... Oh, did I miss a super chat? Oh, I did miss a super chat. My bad, man. My bad. Brand hit me with a 10. Oh, Darrell with the 2 said, I want to see Justin. I thought I deleted my typo. You did, but I saw it first. I saw it before you did. Yep. Meech with the 5. Thank you. And then Angel with the 2. Okay. I did miss this, though. I don't want to be pessimistic, said Mexi with the 5. But what do you think is the future for KC with Kelsey and Jones getting older? Our running backs, you got Leo, Drew, others. That's going to be the name of the game when you get to the offseason, because a lot of guys are on the last year of their contracts. That's Brian Cook. Anybody from that 2022 draft class, except for the guys you either extended, so George Karlaftis, or hit with the 5th-year option, picked up their 5th-year option rather, Trent McDuffie. So yeah, you've got a lot of guys either on the last year of their contract or just on 1-year deals. And I don't know. You have to evaluate free agency. Who's a free agent? Then it's there's pending free agents. So it's guys on the last year of their deal that you think, oh, they're going to hit free agency, but they get re-signed to their team before that happens. And that happens quite a bit. Like Nick Bolton, that happened to. So it's you could go into free agency oh, I hope we can get this guy, but the team ends up re-signing him anyway or extending said player. So yeah, I don't know. The running back room, the only one under contract is Brashard Smith. So hopefully you have more investment into the running back room next year. The linebacker room, Drew Tranquil, he's either on the last year of his deal or you can get out after this year. Same with Mike Dana. Amenahue's on a 1-year. Tillery's on a 1-year. Leo Chanel's on the last year of his deal. Brian Cook's on the last year of his deal. Jalen Watson is on the last year. Josh Williams. There is quite a bit of people on both sides of the ball. There's wide receivers on 1 years, Hollywood, Juju. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot that they're going to have to look at for sure. What do you think needs to happen if they lose on Sunday? If you lose on Sunday, you win the rest, and then you have to hope that some other teams lose some games that they shouldn't, and you're able to sneak into the playoffs as the 7th seed. You can get in there with 7 losses, but it's not guaranteed. I think the Broncos got in there last year 10-7. But it's not a promise. So you don't want to be in that scenario. Now, if you lose 2 games, you are for sure out of the playoffs. You're not making it. And I don't know what the Chiefs do there, because they haven't been in that position in a long time, not in the Mahomes era, meaning you're playing quote-unquote meaningless games at the end of the year because you know you're not going to make the playoffs. I hope it doesn't get to that. I hope the Chiefs ride it out to the last week of the season. Even if they don't make the playoffs, I would love to have it be a fight till the end there. Small chance, but there is a world, said Jacob with the 10 bomb. Appreciate you, man. There's a world where the Chiefs are the 5 seed and the Bills and Chargers miss the playoffs. Patriots, Broncos, Jags, Steelers, Chiefs, Colts, Texans. Dude, I would put a ton of money down on the Steelers missing it and the Bills making it over that. The Steelers have lost 5 of their last 7 games. They look really bad. I don't think they are going to make it, man. But almost everybody else you said I could see that. Chargers, I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers miss. But, man, the Steelers making it would be crazy. Now, you were just saying, hey, this is a possibility, and it's not even fully... Yeah, there's a small chance. So, agreed, but, dude, I would put a lot of money down right now on the Steelers missing the playoffs. Recently pulled a numbered Sky Moore card. No way, Mexi. Let's go. Hey, he's kind of a baller returner for the 49ers right now. I'm happy to see him. He's kind of balling out. Cole, I would rather lose this week and be done with rather than heartbreak at the end. Well, Toma, nothing's more heartbreaking than getting absolutely obliterated in the Super Bowl when you're going for a three-peat. That's spoiled talk, but like if the Chiefs make it to week 18 and then they don't get into the playoffs, like, okay, you didn't get in, but that's not heartbreak for me compared to streaming for 5 hours straight with Eagles fans in your comments for that whole time saying LLL, BTA, 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 BTA. But hey, if you're like, hey, I'd rather just know now, I'll check out for the rest of the season. And I get it, but I would love a fight till the end, man. If you could, it just makes it more fun and more intriguing, whether or not the Chiefs make it or not, or not in control of it. I hope they can, but it looks a little bleak right now. So it's just a week at a time, and you hope they can figure out a way to get a win starting Sunday. Yeah, that's another thing we didn't talk about when somebody was asking me about assistant coaches. Special teams has been really bad for the Chiefs this year. At first, it was Butker with the misses, but then it was like the return game, all the flags, the lack of dynamic returns. Like, there's Johnny with all the Eagles saying LLL. See? They're still there. They're still here. They'll never let me forget. But yeah, special teams, I wouldn't even mind a shakeup on special teams side of things either. I think you need to try to get a more dynamic returner next year. I like Nico Remigio. I think he's a good dude. But if the blocks aren't there, he's not really getting much out of his returns. And then if he does, it's a flag. It's like a whole bunch of a mess, man. Johnny, that's funny, dude. Will it be a weird idea to let AI be the referee in an NFL for the future? Shoot, dude. Might be better. You think Mahomes is about to go nuclear? Maybe so, man. I mean, just had 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in a game that the Chiefs lost. They were 12-0 in such occasions when Mahomes threw 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions heading into that game, and that's including the playoffs in the Mahomes era, and they fell to 12-1. Now, there were 2 quarters where the Chiefs didn't put up any points, so they probably should have put up more to win, but 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and no turnovers on offense, that's a pretty good game. But at the end of the day, you need more than your opponent. That's what Andy Reid said he was like, yeah, we have stats, but we need points. Do I play fantasy football? Yeah, I'm in a league on Sleeper. And then I'm a partner with Underdog, so I do like picks and stuff like that on there every week. Cole, what do we do with Jalen Watson and Shamari Connor? They can't guard anyone. I do think Jalen Watson had a rough game, but he is typically playing at a higher level than that. It's just the problem is you're dealing with borderline 2. I'm so stressed about it that my voice is cracking. You're dealing with borderline 2 wide receiver ones, like 1A and 1B. It's like T. Higgins, Jamar Chase kind of a thing, and Pickens and Lamb. So it was just a big problem, man. And my thing with Jalen Watson is like, dude, how many times are you going to give up a slant to George Pickens? If he's here and you're here, do not give up inside leverage. Do not do it. And he just repeatedly, inside leverage, he gave it up. He's outside. Slant. George Pickens had more slant yards than any wide receiver in a single game this season. That was the biggest thing for me. I'm like, dude, what are we doing? Crazy. Yo, Mr. Fantub with the 5. What's up, man? Got a Broncos fan in here. AFC West is once again competitive. Yep. Bo and Pat got many great games ahead. You better keep winning so we can beat you on Christmas. I kid. Oh, God. I would rather Christmas not be a meaningless game. Like you walk in there because you know the Chiefs are out of the playoffs. Like, make it mean something, please. But yeah, man, I know Bo gets hate, and he's got his struggles for sure, but he's able to flip the switch. He's got a lot of fourth quarter comebacks. They're able to get these one-score wins done and ending in W's. They're a defensive first team. Like, I get it, but they're finding ways to win. So, meanwhile, okay, the Chiefs are first in EPA per play, first in total EPA, first in like all these top 3 in all these advanced metrics, but they're 6-6. Cool. Cool, dude. That's real nice. So I would rather be 11-2. But yeah, man, the AFC West is better. I like Herbert a lot too. I think what Sean Payton has brought to the Broncos, what Harbaugh has brought to the Chargers, the Raiders are still, I don't know. But I knew the division was going to be more competitive 2 years ago. It got more competitive, or maybe the offseason 2 years ago when they started making the coaching changes. And maybe Peyton's already been here that long. Harbaugh is in his second year. Maybe Peyton's in his third. But he was dealing with Russell Wilson that first year. But yeah, I knew it was going to get more competitive, and yeah, it's much respect. It's a tough division, and can't really troll around about the AFC West anymore. Can't do it. Cole, do you prefer the Chiefs offense right now 10 yards at a time or old Tyreek with one play getting 50? I just think a healthy mix. A little bit more of your 20, 30-yard explosive plays, and then you could do your smaller, just calculated quick passes as well. You need to have a balance. Now, the Chiefs have been more explosive this year than last on offense. They've had more chunk plays. But yeah, you're not getting like as many of the 50-plus yarders as like Tyreek. So my answer is a cop-out. You need a blend of both. They're better at it this year, but just Mahomes has missed. I see comments pretty often that, hey, Mahomes is missing every deep ball he throws. It's not every deep ball. He's just slightly above average on passes 20 yards or more down the field. But people are used to Mahomes being top 3, top 5 in every metric. So Mahomes, to his standards, that's low. Slightly above average, but I don't know that he's ever been an elite deep threat per se down the field. But he had Tyreek. So Tyreek could just flip that switch at the end of his route and hit the jets. He's like hitting NOS, turning NOS on or hitting the turbo, whatever, at the end of his route and getting that ball from Mahomes. But yeah, there is times where Mahomes could be better on deep balls. I know some people think I'm maybe not critical enough on Mahomes. I just think he's far from the biggest issue and the problem right now. I think he's carrying the offense at times, to be honest with you. But yeah, he could be better on some of his plays, and probably deep balls would be one where it's like, if you had to just say, hey, what's one thing Mahomes could get better, more consistent at? I would probably say staying in the pocket or not climbing into the pocket unnecessarily, but that's hard. It's like a real feel thing in real time. And then the deep balls. Yo, we got Chase in the house with the 5. Dude, we got back-to-back dono bombs. We got Broncos fan, we got Chargers fan. Chargers fan here. Hope we both win this week and play a who wants it more type of game at Arrowhead. Those are the kind of games that we all live for. Yeah, I was talking about your guys' schedule earlier, and you guys got a rough last 5 games. I can't remember all the teams off the top of my head, but I know you have the Chiefs, you've got the Eagles, you've got the Cowboys, you've got the Broncos. That's 4 of them. I'm missing 1. But all 5 of the teams that the Chargers have left to play are good. At least we aren't the Raiders, said Mr. Fantov with the 2 bomb. LOL, all love. Heck yeah, bro. Yeah, they're not good right now. I thought they would be better than they were this year. I thought Geno would bring a little bit of something. I thought Pete Carroll would bring some stability, but they're awful over there. It's really bad. I think drafting Ashton Genty instead of one of the linemen available, like the offensive lineman, maybe a tackle, it was just an awful move because you can't run the ball. So, exactly. Max with a 2. What do the Chiefs have to do to make the playoffs? Well, I think the most simple answer to that right now is just win on Sunday. You win, your playoff hopes stay alive. You lose, your playoff chances go to like 30% or lower. Maybe even lower than that. So, and you can notch those up every single week when you win. Those numbers don't stay. But the most simple answer right now is you win. And then we can look at all the different scenarios on what could play out as the games get. Once it gets to like week 15 and you've got 3 games left, you will know your exact paths and like what needs to happen. But the Chiefs right now, they still, for the most part, pretty much just, they control their destiny. You just have to win. You've got to win these games. And then you could do the whole, well, if this team wins, like maybe the Chiefs would be the 6th seed instead of the 7th seed. But you got to wait a couple weeks and just stack up. You got to beat the Texans, not going to be easy. And then you got to beat the Chargers after that. Neither will be easy games. Jacob with the 10 bomb said, I love the troll saying if Mahomes misses the playoffs, then he's out on the GOAT talk, but yet want to forget Brady missed 0-2 playoffs. Historic start for a quarterback. It's only year 8. My thing with the GOAT conversation, it's like, let's just see how long Mahomes plays. I mean, part of the convo there is Brady coming alive and having the rejuvenation in his late 30s and winning a couple more, 2 or 3 more Super Bowls at the end there. And it's not all about Super Bowls, but yeah, Mahomes has had the best start ever for sure. It's like, okay, we'll just give it more time. That's where I'm at with it. Let's just take it a year at a time and kind of see how it all shakes out. But regardless, Mahomes is for sure going to retire, finish as a top 5 quarterback all time. I mean, you could probably pencil him in there now based on accomplishments and what he's done. So that's just kind of where I am. If other people want to argue all the other stuff, like, dude, I don't even got time for that. I don't got time. I don't got the energy for it because, yeah, Brady was a good quarterback. And then some of that is like just the longevity. And Mahomes doesn't have to play that long to even hit that status because you could keep going and keep winning. So we'll see. But there's that. And then they'll always use like Brady won the AFC Championship in 2018. He won Super Bowl 55. So yeah, I don't even care about it. But yeah, the beginning part of what you're saying, if Mahomes misses the playoffs, then he'll be thought about differently. I mean, he's playing really well, so I don't know. You're gonna go down with the ship. The captain's always gonna go down with his ship, right? So if the Chiefs don't end up making the playoffs, the EPA stuff, okay, cool, but you couldn't win games. You're first in EPA per play, total EPA. What does that matter if you're not winning? So there is an element of that where it's like, well, you've got to figure out ways to win. But yeah, if the Chiefs miss the playoffs this year, I don't think it like tarnishes Mahomes' legacy. I think it's pretty surprising that the Chiefs wouldn't make it, but that's kind of the way that the season is shook out. You were 11-0 or whatever in one-score games last year, and you're 1-6 in one-score games this year. The margin of error is very thin, very narrow, however you want to phrase it, and you needed to execute some plays at a higher level, not throw the interception in the Jags game, the pick six. There was other costly errors and miscues in these games, so yeah, not the way we wanted it so far, but hey, beat the Texans and keep the season going. Apple Kid with the 2 said, why are Chiefs fans wanting to fire Andy? And then Brand with the 2 said, we can all find solidarity against the Raiders. 100%. Some Chiefs fans want to fire Andy just because I think the thought behind it is Andy runs the show, runs the ship. It's not really going to matter if you bring in a new OC. So all the fans saying, hey, we want change. We want to see a schematic change, a more run-heavy team to do Mahomes some favors there because that's kind of the way that the league has been going. Well, the argument there is, well, Andy is going to always run the show, and no matter who you bring in there at OC, like you're not going to see those changes unless Andy goes. That's part of it. Some of it's saying, well, hey, Mahomes has kind of been carrying and elevating Reed. They would love to see somebody in there that like a McVay or something, but I don't know. I'm not there. I do think a change at OC would be nice, would be needed, and kind of go from there. But after 5 Super Bowls in 6 years, I get it. Like some people are saying the writing was on the wall with Reed and the Eagles, and maybe they should have let him go sooner than they did. I don't know, dude. I don't think after one down season he's going anywhere after you made 5 Super Bowls in 6 years and 3 in a row. But do I want to see some coaching changes? Absolutely. Do I want to see some shift in their offense's identity and maybe how they're... And that's the other issue of like even when some people are saying, hey, we want to see Spags gone. It's not all about just Spags as a play caller, but who he drafts, the type of players that he wants to fit his scheme. The argument is you might find more success with speedy, more athletic guys, speed rushers off the edge, more stunts when you blitz, and he wants the big, heavy guys and the Nick Bolton style of a linebacker that's like a run stuffer. And that's where they're getting into the, hey, well, in order to see these changes, You might have to let the actual coach go because they're the ones with the influence of who they're drafting, obviously Brett Veach would be the ultimate with Andy Reid as kind of the guy up there. But like, that's kind of where people are getting into that territory. Again, I'm just saying that's how people are arriving to it. I don't think I'm there by any stretch of the imagination. But I have been listening to everything that fans are saying just with an open mind. It's like, okay, well, if you want that to happen, why? We're very quick to dismiss something we don't agree with. But lately I've just been like, well, why? Why are they saying that? And how are they getting to this conclusion? But part of my thing is like, okay, you could say to let go this coach, that coach, Veach. You could say all this stuff, but who is coming in here? Is the grass isn't always greener, So it's like I have a problem with like fear of the unknown, personally. So that's like a scary thing to me. So it's like, okay, you let coach A or B go. Who are you filling that with? I don't know. So that's a whole different conversation for another day that probably ruffled feathers with me, even just like processing through that. I'm not there yet. No one will want to go into the playoffs with the Chiefs on a winning streak. True. They could bring in an OC that challenges Andy. Yeah, for sure. And holds him accountable. Yep. I think that's what Eric Bieniemy did and why people want him back. But I think we could find someone that can do that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I'm saying, hey, I think I would really like a change at OC. Get a real wide receiver coach, get an OC, and then, yeah, challenge Andy, influence new ideas. I'm with all of that. I agree with you. And you know what? At the end of the day, if they decided to bring EB back, I'm not really going to complain about it. I would like to see some fresh blood, though. But, the Bears are playing well. They're running the ball really well, and look who's over there. It's also Ben Johnson, but EB is over there as well as the running backs coach. I think Ben Johnson is a hell of a head coach. He was the best available guy on the market, and he chose right with the Bears, and they are the 1 seed in the NFC. That's crazy, but they're doing a good job over there. I don't understand why Casey keeps signing, to be blunt, bad running backs and then don't use them. They barely use their rookie. They signed the Texans 4th rounder, in my opinion, not using CEH well. Well, Dameon Pierce might play this week, but yeah, they've invested like little to no resources in the running back room for years. I don't know if they got scared about the CEH thing and over-investing in a running back or what happened there. But yeah, you've done basically nothing to the running back room. 7th round rookie, 1-year Flyers, and then another 7th round rookie in Brashard Smith. And Brashard Smith was always going to be a developmental project. He had 1 year of running back experience in college. He was always going to be a developmental guy that I thought, hey, if anything, in like a year or two from now, maybe he's like your dedicated, like super solid third down running back. Pass pro, catching passes out of the backfield, and can carry the ball in between the tackles from time to time. But yeah, I don't know why they've invested so little in the running back room. They don't value it. But I do think the league is shifting a little bit to the direction of valuing running backs. Even if that's not signing somebody in the offseason to a big deal, but drafting a running back in the top 3 rounds. And there's other needs too. You need defensive end. You might need a linebacker. Secondary, like there's always going to be needs. You've got to marry that in free agency and the draft. But I'm pounding the table, man, for a more dynamic running back. And then use the running backs more as well. It is twofold. I get the argument of, well, you could have whatever, pick somebody. You could have Jonathan Taylor here and they wouldn't use him. I think they would use him more. He would be more effective, but I also think you should run the ball more. I'd love to see an OC with some fire, said Darrell with the 2-bomb. Agreed. I'll never forget when, I don't remember what play. It was the Broncos game, though. It was the pass. I think it was the Broncos game. Remember where Brashard Smith was out there and he had like a wheel route and Mahomes threw it at him. It would have been a first down, but I think Brashard Smith, it was like a combo. Like Mahomes didn't throw it soon enough, but he was also anticipating that Brashard Smith would like stop just past the line to gain, and he didn't. And I watched Nagy. This was the weirdest thing to me, dude. He watched the incompletion. It was like right in front of him. And this is what he did. He literally stood there in silence, like no emotion. And I get that you can't overreact every single, like you can't freak out every time the Chiefs don't complete a third down. That was late in the game. You'd been struggling. You didn't show nothing there. And it's just like, dude. So I agree with you, Darrell. Like, we want to see a little bit of fire. We want to see a little bit of fire. Ooh, Cliff Kingsbury would be fun. Yeah, that would be fun. Cole, crazy thought, watch Tomlin get fired from the Steelers and come to Casey as head coach. I would much prefer, personally, a offensive-minded guy with Mahomes. If you're going to have one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, get an offensive-minded guy in there, not a defensive-minded guy. And I don't mean that disrespectfully because I do like Tomlin, but I would rather go make a trade for McVay or like go get an offensive-minded guy if Andy Reid retires or whatever. That's where I think you would need to do with Mahomes. Like his face when the Bears did the doink. I don't remember Nagy's exact reaction on that, to be honest with you. I don't remember that one. Bring in Tomlin and we can be 9-8 every year. Yeah, no. But I do think Tomlin, if he gets a change of scenery, he will be a head coach again next year. Maybe the Giants? Like, possible. Hey, Cole, if you and I know Patrick and those Chiefs, they ain't going down that easily. They're about to flip the switch and make the playoffs. How about those Chiefs? That's the hope, man. That is the hope. All you can do is all we can do is cheer on the team, right? I can't influence the team any way, shape, or form, but I do hope that they come out with fire at Arrowhead, where they've been playing more successfully this season by quite a bit compared to road games. You get out there, you find a way to get a W, and you keep your playoff hopes alive, man. Hey, Casey, come here. See, somebody's saying Casey Cam. Come. Casey. Hey, come. All right, Casey Cam, here we go. Come here. Oh. Ah. Say hi, guys. Say, how about those Chiefs? There's a little fluff ball. I'm about to take her home and feed her. Yep, Casey, she's always here, under the desk. She's got her little bed. Yeah, Darrell, I appreciate each and every one of you, man. Thanks to the mods holding it down. Thanks for all the dono bombs, the gifteds. Remember, the member stream is on Thursday. We have a Wednesday video. We have a Thursday Seth interview and a Friday preview video. Crimson with the 13 months said, stressful season for so far. Y'all, but I'm happy to be a part of this great community. Hope everybody had a fun, safe holiday season. Yeah, man, I hope the same for you, Crimson. Appreciate each and every one of you. Say bye, Casey. Let's go. Let's freaking go. How about those Chiefs? All right, guys. You know it's getting late when I'm pretending to talk as my dog. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks again. I always love talking some Chiefs. We got a lot of more content coming this week, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, be safe, stay safe, healthy, all of it during the holidays. And until next time, let's go. Let's freaking go.
How about those Chiefs?